There's very little confirmed about Path of Exile 1's 3.24 expansion, Necropolis, but already a suite of fan theories are sweeping the community, and some of them are bound to contain some modicum of truth. All of them, of course, revolve around the brief 30-second teaser Grinding Gear Games dropped a few days ago, and what it might mean about the league itself. I've gathered 4 distinct theories about the gameplay we're about to get, some of them mine, some of them first devised by others. We have another league on the list of top metal band names upcoming. Best we prepare ourselves for the madness about to unfold. Traveling Exiles, welcome. I am Try. Let's talk some Path of Exile 1. Theory number 1. The historic bosses showcased at the end of the teaser are the new Uber bosses. After the little tirade from the Niles-like fanatic and the flash of the Necropolis logo, we saw 5 iconic bosses from Path of Exile 1. Katarina from Betrayal, Lycia from Sanctum, Kurgle from Delve, and the 2 liches from Abyss, Ulaman and Amamu, Amananu, Amanui, Amamani, Amanamu. Yeah, that's it. The theory I'm seeing out there, initially in a short message from Dreamcore, is that these could be a new set of at least 5 Uber bosses. That means they're unrelated to the league mechanic and they are just being added to the core game. I'm a big fan of this theory and I bet GGG is too. This would be a great add on their end and already would be likely a low investment. The fights are already made, assets, attacks, and all. All they'd need to do is add a specific set of extra modifiers to the bosses themselves to make them Uber. Maybe they could take some inspiration from Zizzarin's Gauntlet from Affliction and give each some sort of Uber at Ziri apparition. Then, they'd need to add a unique way to access these Uber versions, which would be a bit difficult with the Abyssal Liches as they're encountered randomly, and then they'd need to give each a unique set of Uber rewards, as many Uber bosses currently have. Honestly, the access part is what's tripping me up, especially with the Liches. How could they make these deterministically accessible? Perhaps it is tied with the very possible rework to Uber accessibility that could be coming this league. People have long asked for ways to split Uber invites from regular invites so the regular boss market is not dominated by those who can run Uber bosses. I'd be a huge fan of this all around. More peak pinnacle content is always welcome in Path of Exile 1. Time for theory number 2. Necropolis is a Legacy League-esque mechanic that rolls myriad past leagues into a single mega dungeon, the Necropolis. This would mean part 1 and part 2 of the teaser were definitely tied together. This is my personal theory and a favorite of mine so far, so tell me if you agree with me here. The Necropolis would hold various rooms and wings, similar to the Forbidden Sanctum, except it'd be endless like Delve and filled with a variety of content. One wing might be Abyss themed with monsters from Abyss, Abyssal bosses, and a spin on existing Abyss rewards. The next wing might be themed after the Forbidden Sanctum, with creatures from it we could face and huge drops of currency attached to killing those monsters and bosses. Another wing might be completely tied to Harvest, the next Scourge, another to Crucible, and the next to Trial of the Ancestors. Essentially, this could wrap everything that has occurred in POE1's 3.0 era into a single place as a love letter to this age of Path of Exile 1. As we must remember, this is the final league before the launch of POE2's closed beta, which is going to be massive. And whether we like it or not, it's going to split the player base at least a bit. POE 3.24's Necropolis could be raising all the past league mechanics from 3.0 from the dead, from Crucible, which has been gone in entirety since its inception, to Harvest, whose original implementation is long deceased. Imagine walking into a wing and we're greeted with the original Harvest crop mechanic in some fashion. What a blast to the past that would be. Then the next wing, there's a ton of Crucible forges awaiting us. Who misses those beautiful forged monsters? I do a bit. Then Tane. Oh, Tane and Metamorph could return in a way. Okay, that's probably not possible given their mechanical reasons for removing it, but I thought I'd mention it. While the Mega Dungeon itself would be a ton of work to implement, the mechanic itself drawing in all the past leagues and chucking them inside, hopefully, would be a lower investment from GGG, and I hope it's a real possibility. I'd love it. Would you? Alright, let's touch on theory number 3. Necropolis will be a mixture and improvement on 2 beloved past mechanics, Bestiary and the Maven's Crucible. As we blast through areas in the campaign or maps during the endgame, we're able to capture the corpses of dead bosses. These corpses are stored in a new area of our own, the Necropolis. The bodies are kept undead by the dude who opens up the trailer, who's working on something crazy for the Templars or the Searing Exarch or some other ungodly entity. He, in his great power, is able to resurrect the corpses in the Necropolis and allows us to fight them for greater rewards. However, they gain some sort of necrotic powers when we fight them, and then there'd be an even cooler catch. We can decide which bosses we fight, how many we can fight at once, and in what arena. It's truly an evolution of the Metamorph mechanic. It's a build your entire boss battle mechanic in Path of Exile 1. This could be what the final scene of the teaser hinted at, us being able to fight Katarina, Lycia, and the 3 Liches concurrently. This would be lit. Imagine you could choose to fight Cirrus, Lycia, and Kurgal all at once in Kurgal's arena. That'd be amazing and truly a mechanic unlike anything we've yet seen in POE 1. These developers love to be ambitious. They like to reuse existing content where it makes sense, and they do love to surprise players. This would accomplish all 3, I'd imagine. Additionally, this ties partly into Theory 2. It'd be a love letter to this time of POE, a look at the legacy it has left behind in terms of bosses. I think it'd be beautiful. Truly, as someone who enjoys bossing, this would be a dream. What do you think, fellow exiles? Finally, we're ready for theory number 4. Everything we've speculated on is a bait, especially the bosses showcased at the end. Part 1 of the teaser could be a teaser of the League mechanic, which could be some sort of spin on a new game genre in this Necropolis area. I've seen some people throw out that this could be POE Vampire Survivors or something along those lines, wherein we face hordes and hordes of enemies endlessly and gain cool power-ups as we go through. I'm skeptical on that front, as they've always been careful to not give us too many flashy temporary abilities in specific areas, especially nothing along the lines of what you get in games like Vampire Survivors. Sanctum would be the closest, but nothing in there is too flashy. Just damage increases and relations to the Sanctum mechanic itself. But really, maybe the hint at the end with the bosses is just that Betrayal is getting a reward rework, which we know is happening thanks to Jonathan's confirmation with Zizarin. At least Aisling crafts should be itemized. Then perhaps Sanctum and Abyss are on the chopping block too, even though both are in a good spot, and Abyss just had a rework. I do not think it's a bait, but this is grinding your games. They do put boat pictures in all their teasers, knowing we would like a boat league sometime. Anything is possible. What do you think? Even though Path of Exile 2 is fast approaching and I'm incredibly invested in that game's entire story, POE1 3.24 has me hyped up even more. I'm 100% ready to dive in when it releases on March 29th, and I'll be doing it live here on YouTube and on Twitch. I hope you'll join me. Additionally, if more rad theories pop up, I'll make sure to address them in a second part. Thanks for the tremendous support. All you traveling and totally sane exiles, have a wonderful day. Tala Moana, warriors.